Did I miss the fun? You didn't miss a single thing. So for those of you who haven't been paying attention today and are kind of like, what the hell is going on? Why is everyone freaking out? So today, the Supreme Court handed down 2 more decisions, and they're pretty bad. Like there's no way I can spin it to you guys that's gonna make it seem like they're okay. Um, Basically, the first and biggest one that's on everybody's minds is essentially the Supreme Court ruling that any official acts taken while President of the United States cannot be legally prosecutable. So basically, the president has absolute immunity when conducting official acts. Now, what official acts are official enough to get that absolute immunity? People don't really know. They didn't really go out on a limb and describe that in detail. So it's just kind of this nebulous thing that they said belonged in the hands of the lower courts. So yeah, essentially they're trying to say, hey, let the lower courts sort it out, which is another way of delaying Donald Trump's trial. It's just going to be appeal central. They're just going to appeal every single step of the way. It's all kind of bullshit. Yes. So yeah, essentially there's nothing a president can do as long as they say it's an official act that can be prosecutable. I imagine that's going to be curtailed a bit in the lower courts, but it's also not going to be consistent in the lower courts. So, yeah, a lot of people today, even like mainstream Republicans are like, oh, so Joe Biden could just have Donald Trump drone struck? And it's like, I guess, maybe.
Brain button.
Penny Auntie, thank you for gifting Neuron a sub. So, yeah, essentially, they're saying that Joe Biden right now is a god king. And unfortunately, because neo-libs are weak and feckless, he's not going to, like, take broad, sweeping action to, like, change anything or weight the scales or, like, he's not going to do anything with that. And instead, he's just going to sit back, normally transfer power. He's going to do all the normal things if he loses and deliver us straight into fascism, where that fascist has just been told he has basically the ability to act as a dictator with no legal constraints. Yeah, legally speaking, like Joe Biden could like shoot a man in the middle of the street while the entire world watches. Like legally speaking, if he said that was an official act as president, he could do that. No repercussions. So like, yeah, but like Stoudman, you're supposed to mix it up a little bit. You're not supposed to just completely remake Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Okay, you gotta throw a few curveballs in there. Yeah, we're currently in what is technically called fucking nonsense land. That is the technical term for it. Hey, Lanzetta. Hey, Little Morphine Annie, how you doing? Yeah, the choices are genocide, dementia, grandpa, and literally Hitler. So, yeah, super great. Everything okay? I think everything's okay. I can't understand why Biden's speech wasn't just execute Order 66.
Little Boo Wooden.
Booten. Hey, Penny Auntie. Thank you for gifting Little Morphine Annie a sub. everyone knows this is bullshit that is only possible if SCOTUS is extremely flawed and broken and corrupted. Yeah. I mean, like, members of Congress, progressives in Congress are lining up to say, "Oh, we'll do, we're going to like do our legal maneuvering to like get, oust the members of the Supreme Court." But they're not going to do anything. You know the liberals in Congress aren't going to go along with that. They're going to say we need to respect the institution, and behind closed doors they're going to be shitting themselves in fear. They're literally just doing Weimar in 1933. Yep. SCOTUS has lost the mandate of the people, in my strong opinion. Well, I would hope that people will be out protesting this en masse, but I don't know that that is going to happen. Didn't AOC, she's going to file articles of impeachment? Yes, against members of the Supreme Court. But I don't know that that's actually going to go anywhere. Polls say the American people have a negative opinion of the court. Yeah, but that's also been true for a long time. What we need is Joe Biden to just say, "Oh, all right," and then expand the court the way he always could. You know? Exactly, Mr. Miyagi. We have ways out of this that Biden just hasn't explored. Is it finally time for a revolution? No. But like, man, today is absolutely unprecedented. Just absolutely that, and the fact that, remember the other day when we talked about Chevron doctrine and the SCOTUS killing that?
Hey Jack, why is it getting harder and harder not to Fed post these days? Biden got bottom surgery politically and has no asterisk 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 asterisk.
True. Why is it getting harder and harder not to Fed post? I think the reasons are obvious. But still, don't Fed post. And yeah, it's rough out there, guys. Not gonna lie. But remember the other day when I said SCOTUS had, screwed over your air and soil and water and prescription drugs and basically anything that is underneath a regulation?
So many buttons today. I loves it.
Penny Ann T, thank you for gifting Elby a sub. Well, it turns out the Supreme Court also handed down a decision today that allows basically legal challenge against anything, like any kind of regulation. Like, we're cooked, guys. We're cooked. Here's, oh god, you can't even see it. Boop, 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 burp. There we go. Zoom in. All right. Supreme Court's first decision is corner post. And this is going to be reverberating through all of history now. Great. The majority allows plaintiffs to challenge an agency action long after it has been finalized. The default statute of limitations for suits against the United States requires, quote, the complaint to be filed within 6 years after the right of action first accrues, unquote. We must decide when a claim brought under the Administrative Procedure Act accrues for purposes of this provision. The answer is straightforward. A claim accrues when the plaintiff has the right to assert it in court. And in the case of the APA, that is when the plaintiff is injured by final agency action. So basically, remember how I said the silver lining was that, they couldn't just immediately challenge all of the past EPA regulations? Like, it wasn't retroactive? this makes it all retroactive. This other opinion, it just completely means anything goes. If you're a company with a lot of money, you can undo any kind of regulation that that might inconvenience your company effectively. God. So what you're gonna do? Just no Fed posting, not even as a treat. Um, so what I'm here to tell you guys isn't to, not panic. You can have a little bit of panic as a treat, but make sure that you figure out a plan. You know, figure out a plan with how you want to engage in the upcoming general election. Figure out a plan for, what happens if the election goes the wrong way. I would suggest getting your passports, especially if you're a member of a minority group of some kind. And uh, I would say that it would be a good idea to learn your way around a firearm. Get some basic survival skills in you, and then do whatever you can. Go out there, volunteer to do canvassing. We need people to knock doors. We need people to phone bank. What advice for the fight response in the fight or flight dilemma? I mean, the thing about a fight response is, one, it's extremely LARPy to get to that point, but like, if it ever did get to that point, like it no advice I can give you right now would be useful. Outside of like learning basic firearm, safety. Yeah. But first and foremost, you don't need to embrace defeat before we're even down, okay? So, figure out where you can help. I know I'm going to be pitching in the general election, however I can. Figure out how you want to engage and be intentional about it, Because, like, this really is kind of a do or die time. Like, if Biden is awful in basically every conceivable way. And it's really difficult for me to say, go out and vote for Biden. It's not in this space. Holy shit. I do think people should vote for Joe Biden because no one else is going to win outside of him or Donald Trump. So the cold calculus of the situation calls for Biden. But I'm going to hate it, and I know a lot of other people are going to hate it too. Join Progressive Victory, help out with local causes. Yep. Get to know your neighbors. Yeah, and that is also true, Paladin. That is worth noting that while the Supreme Court did give Donald Trump a huge shield in the ongoing legal battles against himself, they did still kick his ultimate fate back down to lower courts. So he's still being sentenced in New York, still facing the Georgia and DC cases. My major concern about all that is that I like all of those trials are getting delayed so much. Don't panic though. Yeah, don't panic. You need to be able to think about this with a clear head. And like today, I've seen Twitter. I know a lot of you guys aren't thinking with clear heads. I'm gonna be honest, I feel very intensely anti-Biden at the moment. I know that that's not really the right thing to be hearing about right now, though. The radical apathy and all that, so I'll be quiet about it in here. I mean, I don't blame the feeling of anti-Biden, which is why, like, it's gonna be fucking hard to advocate for him, you know? Like, I'm just saying, get your head straight. Use the next few days to think about where we all are, where you want to be. Jack, I know I'll vote for Biden, but I'm not gonna lie. My love for this country right now is in the shitter. Yeah, you know, it's dicked us all over. You know, no, there's no sugarcoating that. Yeah, Periwinkle. AOC's articles of impeachment aren't going anywhere, unfortunately, because Democrats don't have spines. Thing is, it doesn't hurt to prep. You have months, build some savings, maybe build some skills. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. The issue is, and I'm just gonna say that say this, like, if we fail in the upcoming general, guys, like somebody earlier in chat said, there's no way, nowhere to go on the planet where the United States doesn't have reach. You know, if this country falls to fascism, that's we're in a different world. So I personally am really doubled down on, hey, let's maybe head that option off at the pass so we don't have a nuclear fascist United States. You know, I would really like to avoid that, both for like global peace and humanitarian reasons, and also for selfish reasons. I would like, as a trans person, to continue living. And yeah, we'll see where things go, but man, reading Sotomayor's dissenting opinion was rough today, guys. Love how the Dems just watched the GOP setting this up for decades. They didn't even stick their head in the sand. They actively downplayed, ignored, and enabled it to avoid looking. Yeah. Yeah. But here's Sotomayor's dissent. Let the president violate the law, let him exploit the trappings of his office for personal gain, let him use his official power for evil ends, because if he knew that he may one day face liability for breaking the law, he might not be as bold and fearless as we would like him to be. That is the majority's message today. Even if these nightmare scenarios never play out, and I pray they never do, the damage has been done. The relationship between the president and the people he serves has shifted irrevocably. In every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. Until now, presidents have operated under the assumption that their actions were not immune from criminal prosecution if they used their office and the trappings of their office to commit crimes. But going forward, presidents won't be so concerned. With fear for our democracy, I dissent, she concluded. Yeah. Man. So selfish. Yes, the selfish reason of not dying. Yeah. Hey, Archangel. Kind of want to cry a little bit. You know what? I think that would be healthy. But only allow yourself, like, today, you know? You be sad today and get mad tomorrow. Because this should be making each and every one of you furious, you know?